So Loan Tech technically doesn't do loans.
No.
But they help you convert your loans, and they're going to do this with your online leads.
Yes.
Amongst a whole bunch of other stuff. Again,
Very cool.
If you join the National Association of Mortgage Professionals, known as NAM,
Yes.
though that makes no sense.
But it's right.
But it's right.
Yes.
They're going to give it to you for free for, I believe, 3 months?
6 months.
6 months. My God.
6 months for free.
$50, and now you're advocating for the industry. Click
Come
this
on.
banner right over there on Facebook, straight up above. Today I want to talk to you about the exciting world of insurance.
Yeah!
You've all had this one circled on your maps. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so NAR, the National Association of Realtors, wants flood insurance reform. And can you blame them?
No.
The Congressional Budget Office says our national flood insurance is running $1.4 billion in debt on an annual basis.
A little tough.
Think about this one for a second, guys.
Yeah.
It has to be fixed. Now, that means our flood insurance is being subsidized by Jane and Joe taxpayer to the tune of $1.4 billion, and that's a lot on an annual basis.
Yeah.
So we'd all agree that it's not the job of the taxpayer to pay for your insurance because you decided to buy a house in a flood zone. You decided to buy a house that looks like a Thomas Kincaid, cabin, gingerbread house that's right next to a stream. That's not a stream, that's a flood hazard. So how does NAR want to fix it?
Okay, so this is what NAR says. Reauthorize the National Flood Insurance Program for 5 years.
All right, that's 5 more years, $1.4 million in debt per year. Keep going, that doesn't help.
Okay, so they say authorize $1 billion to elevate, buy out, or mitigate high-risk properties.
Now, I want you to think about this. We have an area called Guerneville out here. They flood every single year. Every year I see these people on the TV going, I can't believe my house flooded again. Why not? It flooded last year and the year before. You need to move the damn house. Is it the job of the taxpayer to pay for that person? No.
You know what, man? I really want you to say how you feel about this stuff.
I'm going to.
I don't want you to hold anything back on the show like you normally do.
This is ridiculous.
Okay, now the next thing they say that we should do is to cap flood insurance premiums at $10,000 per year for homeowners.
What if that's not enough? Keep going.
Okay, then they say what we should do is double increased cost of compliance coverage and allow access prior to floods.
Now, that one does make sense. Okay, let's start fixing this before we have a problem.
Okay, I guess that would make sense. Okay, the next thing they suggest is to provide for community flood maps and streamline the process of appealing those things, I guess.
Well, okay, your house is going to flood. Here's a map to prove it.
Okay. They also say to better align the National Flood Insurance Program rates to risk, particularly for inland and lower value properties.
Okay, so subsidized for low-income housing that is next to a stream. I kind of understand that, but it still puts the taxpayer at risk.
Okay, they go on to say, improve the claims process in light of Superstorm Sandy.
Well, that was a nightmare, so anything would be better than that.
Sure. Then they say, address the repeatedly flooding properties that account for 2% of the National Flood Insurance Program policies, but 25% of claim payments.
Now, that's where the rubber really meets the road. 2% of the properties, 25% of the claims. They flood every year. There's only one thing to do about those. Bulldoze the houses, or let these people sell the houses and have a flood insurance policy that's going to exceed the $10,000 that they want to limit it at. If you're going to buy a house knowing that it's going to flood, then you're going to take the risk and you're going to pay the consequence. I'm sorry, that's how it has to be. 2% of the properties, 25% of the claims. Think about it.
Well, they were saying giving $1 billion to raise them up. You know, I don't know. Anyway, next. They say remove hurdles to the private flood insurance market, which often offers better coverage at lower cost than the National Flood Insurance Program.
Now, the bill at hand right now is called HR 2874. It's in the House and they're looking at it. But I like what they said there when they were talking about private flood insurance, okay?
Sure.
That means this doesn't have to be a government program. You can have a private insurer come in there, and if they can offer a better product at a cheaper price, let them. Now, this is interesting, guys. Let's look at this when it comes to your hazard insurance as it pertains to high-risk fire zones like here in Northern California.
Okay.
So here in California, where we just saw the worst fires of our life,
Yeah.
you can get additional insurance that would hire a private mercenary-esque fire department to come and protect your home. Not your neighbor's home, your home.
Interesting.
How do you feel about that?
Well, from a Wall Street Journal article, tens of thousands of people benefit from these programs. For their overall insurance, policyholders can pay anywhere from thousands of dollars in annual premiums with these firms to more than $100,000 depending on the number and types of homes and other possessions that they insure.
So, do we like a two-tier system that rewards the rich at the cost of the poor? Does this not create a divide between the haves and the have-nots?
For example, a company called Chartis offers the Wildfire Protection Service to its 30,000 Western U.S. policyholders, each of whom may pay up to $20,000 a year for their policies. The insurer created its own internal fire department in 2010, their own fire department in 2010, after contracting for 2 years with a third-party company.
Now, it's interesting. They can pay upwards of $20,000 a year, and the flood insurance policy says, let's cap it at 10. Okay, $10,000 on those flood policies may not be enough when you're looking at what these fire policies may cost other folks. Yeah, would those firefighters not be better served servicing the community at large? Though a great idea for few, it comes at the cost of many. It provides for those of means at the cost of those without means. So how do you feel about it? Private contractors for fire abatement at the absolutely most critical time? Like it or not, I think it divides us. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think if you can afford it, you can afford it. It's a form of protection, you know? I mean, I don't know if it divides us per se. I don't know what to say. I kind of like it. I think it's kind of a neat thing. It's expensive, but it's kind of a cool thing.
We got one who likes it, the other one who doesn't. What do you guys think? Let us know about it down below. We'd be curious to see.
Yeah, you guys have a great day. Forward, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you later here at the National Real Estate Post.
Alrighty, we'll talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.